Hey folks, I'm Matt Masur from Clickstream Studios, and I am honored to guest host this episode of The Details in the Deal with my good friend Christine O'Connell Moore, realtor to the stars. That's not she. Don't call her that. How are you,
I've been called
Christine?
worse. I'm really well, thank you, and so happy to be in your new studios too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's a fabulous place.
We've worked hard to get it together, and it wouldn't be here without you.
Well,
so
thank
that's
you. Thank you. One of my favorite deals. Yes.
that's awesome. I'm glad it's coming together well. So
Good.
yeah,
It takes a little time, right?
more time than I expected, quite honestly, but
Always.
that's probably more my fault than anything else.
Yeah.
But
No, but it's beautiful, and you're offering business as a real rare opportunity in a marketplace like ours.
yeah, no one's got anything like this really anywhere in the country. I mean, there's some other kind of unique facilities, but to have the wide variety of things we have, we got over 20 different sets. A train. I mean, who's got a train in their building? Like, this is incredible. But yeah, it's a phenomenal facility, and we're excited. And everybody who's been in the door couldn't be happier to shoot some cool content here. So thank you for joining us here.
Thank you, and I'm happy for you and your team. And trains have quite a history in this area, so it's cool that you have a train within your space.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's awesome. So what's going on, Christine?
So I am having one of the busiest springs that I can imagine,
Really?
that I can remember in a very long time. There's so much going on with new construction. There's so much going on with people wanting to move their properties.
Wow.
So much going on with people wanting to move into new properties too.
Wow.
Which is cool. So I'm,
So from both sides.
From both sides, I would say that I have more diverse business today than I ever have as far as the sort of things that I'm doing. I'm doing more industrial than I have in the past, and I'm doing some more leasing than I have in the past. So and it's good. These are my clients that I've had over the years that have grown into other buildings and industries, and now they want to make some changes.
Do you find some of these companies choose to lease versus buy because it's just convenient? They like that property and it's only for lease, or what are some of the reasons they would choose one over the other?
Great question. One of the reasons is simply the ability to finance.
Gotcha.
If you're a newer company and you don't have a track record, it's going to be hard to finance purchasing a building.
You don't have $100,000 or $500,000 minimum, to put down, sort of thing.
Right. You're going to need a minimum of 25%. And really, by the time you do all your closing costs, which are surprising at times, you're pushing 30% by the time you get done.
Gotcha.
So that's one. The second thing is just choosing where you want to put your money. If you need to buy supplies, you need to pay your employees, it might be a better thing for you to lease and see how your business is doing, especially in the beginning, and people will grow, and so they can more easily move around with a lease as long as you don't have a real long-term lease.
Sure.
So they'll be able to make some changes and see how the footprint that they chose at that time works out for them.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, and then some people just like it for the ease.
Yeah.
Life's hard. And so if you don't have to worry about the snow plowing and the landscaping and, all of the other things that are involved with owning a building and just keeping the maintenance up, I think that's, for some people, they'd rather just focus on their core business.
That's totally understandable.
Yeah. And for so many places, the utilities are included too, which is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially in today's environment.
Absolutely. That's the massive factor for a lot of these things. But Christine, so we're talking about leasing, buying, and then the third option is building your own, right?
Yes.
Which sort of leads us to the biggest project who's building their own here in Central New York.
Our Micron moment of the day. It is just so exciting to see how people are excited about the Micron project. And, the naysayers are decreasing every day, I would say. They're believing, we broke ground. It's happening. People are coming to town. I leased space last year to a business that had no presence here at all. And they came because of Micron. And now they're a big supporter of Syracuse University athletics, and they hire the kids that play on the teams. They give them sponsorship money, and they run commercials every single day. I see them on TV. So people are coming to town and spending money because of Micron
and just
already.
Immediately becoming part of the community.
Immediately becoming part of the community, even if it doesn't seem directly related.
Sure.
It's not on the Micron property. It's already happening. And they announced this past week that they have hired Bechtel to be their They're a construction management company, and they are the largest management company in the country,
Wow.
which is huge to bring that kind of expertise to our marketplace.
Sure.
They know how to find employees. They know how to find the suppliers and the subs and everything that they're going to need. And they're used to coming into a town and starting from zero.
Wow.
So they are immediately expected to scale up at White Pines Business Park, which is where Micron will be built, is being built. And I think that's exciting to see a quality company like that coming to town.
Yeah.
There's a new name for us.
Yeah.
I don't know that they've ever built anything in our town.
It's what, at least 100 jobs, right? And just with that company alone in Syracuse?
Well,
in town?
Yeah, exactly. And they'll be responsible for hiring the 3,000 people that will work on the construction site next month.
That's awesome.
And next year.
That's awesome.
Yep. So by the time they get done in over 20 years, they'll have over $100 billion into the project.
And the thing about that, Christine, is a lot of people hear that and they go, oh, we won't be done for 20 years. The reality is the whole massive project might take 20 years, but they're going to have operating facilities in just a handful of years. The first building of many. By
the end of this decade.
Yeah.
And then, and technology will change.
Sure.
So, I wouldn't be surprised if buildings 3 and 4 are different than what was expected just because of changes in technology. And I think that's good and it's okay. And we should expect it. And we shouldn't be upset about it.
Sure.
Because we can't just put our heads in the sand and say, oh, well, this is what you said.
Yeah.
That won't help us. But I'm excited about it. And every day I hear interest in the marketplace. And every day I meet people from other parts of the country and they say, what's going on? And that wasn't the case 10 years ago.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, very exciting.
That's awesome. Christine, what you've got some really interesting properties for sale right now, but one in particular stands out. What's our listing of the month? So
our listing of the month is 6709 Brooklawn Parkway, which is a Syracuse mailing address, but we're actually on the east side of Syracuse in town of DeWitt. It's 7,000 square foot of office space with a warehousing component of about 10%. Could definitely be 20 to 25% with some changes in the building. Easily divisible into two different offices. A family has owned it for many years, and they actually ran 2 different businesses out of it without dividing it in half.
Gotcha.
But you could easily divide it in half if you wanted half the building for yourself, let's say, and half for a tenant. That would be a really nice way of paying the bills.
Yeah.
Nicely constructed, great location, close to restaurants, close to industrial buildings, close to the thruway. You can almost see the thruway from the building. And the seller would like to lease back part of the building for the next year. He's been in there quite a long time. He has got a lot to roll up. He recently sold a big part of his business. And so he's got file cabinet after file cabinet that needs to be gone through and decide what to do with it. So that would be some nice money to start with if you don't have an immediate tenant for your building.
That's neat.
Yes. So I'm excited about that building. Yeah. I think we'll find a good buyer for that this year. And the location is really nice. You're near a lot of things that you're going to want to be near.
That's great.
Yes. Hey, if people are familiar with Carrier Circle, it's 1 block from Carrier Circle.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Christine, if you could just take 1 second and that concept of a lease back, because you see that sometimes and you'll see leases for, a national chain business. Mm-hmm. And you're like, well, that place isn't closing. Why are they selling the property? And you see that it's a lease back, meaning they're going to sell you the place, but they're immediately want to be your tenant. Is that accurate?
Yes. And people do that for all kinds of reasons. One reason is estate planning. And the sellers will get some money, which is nice. So sometimes it's easier to leave cash than real estate.
Sure.
The second reason is what we already talked about a little bit is, a startup company isn't going to want to make that kind of investment. So it may be that they need the cash for something.
Gotcha.
And they also may just be changing their investment criteria. It's always nice to have a tenant.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense. Depreciation is different. There's often you can depreciate, and I'm not an accountant, so I'm not trying to give accounting advice, but you can depreciate your operating expenses much easier than you can depreciate your building. So there could be some accounting reasons for it too.
Wow.
Yeah. I think people really need to know who they're, who
Mhm.
that company is and what their future is, as far as a long-term tenant, because we have seen it not work out too.
Sure.
So sometimes it can be a symbol that that you're having some financial troubles.
Would a buyer have the option? Would they be able to say, "Yeah, I want to buy this, but no, I don't want a lease back," sort of thing, or is it in those deals that's kind of take it or leave it how it is?
Well, everything's negotiable.
Sure.
Right. So if you really want the building and you're willing to reach for it, the people who owned it, who also were the tenant, may say, this makes sense for us to just move.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Or maybe it's a good time to change the sizing of your business with technology. Maybe things have changed. But I always think it never hurts to ask.
That's great.
And then or maybe you have a tenant that you feel better about from a financial point of view that you'd rather move into the building.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's the tip of the day. I think if you see one of these properties listed and they say they want a lease back and go, "Oh, I love it. It would be a great fit for me," but there's already somebody there, doesn't mean it's off the table. Call Christine and
That's right.
and see what your options are.
Right. I mean, we can be creative, and it doesn't have to be long term. If maybe it's something that works better for you 3 years from now.
Yeah.
And that gives the people who are in there now some time to make some decisions too.
Well, like you mentioned in this property, it just gives the folks time to wind down a little bit.
Right.
And if you're buying it and you don't have that immediate need, what a great way to ramp up with some income, like you said. So that's
yes, and they have 3 generations of
wow.
business paperwork in there,
right?
So that you don't do that overnight.
No,
at least you don't do it efficiently overnight. And there's nothing worse than moving something without being able to go through it,
right?
Because you don't really need to.
You got to put it somewhere else and go through it another time.
Exactly. That's painful and expensive. Yes.
Yeah. Christine, we got some other cool listings around town. What do you got?
Yes. So in fact, I'm showing this property tomorrow. I have a property on Pearl Street that we've talked about in the past, 320 Pearl Street in Syracuse. It's right on the edge of an entrance to 81 North. If you're familiar with the area, it's next door to Nettleton Commons and across the street from St. Joseph's Hospital. So it's a terrific location, minutes to anywhere. I've been marketing it as a transition from an industrial building to apartments. But recently, I've been talking to a hotel owner who does development, and I think it could be a really cool boutique hotel.
Sure.
So I want to throw that out to the people
wow.
to think about. There's the main building, and then we have 2 additional buildings that could be either indoor or outdoor parking too.
Oh, wow.
Which is not always easy to find in the city.
No.
So that's kind of exciting. And the people who are looking at tomorrow are looking to turn it into apartments. But I want to leave some options open.
Cool.
My seller would like to sell it with all of the machine shop equipment in there. He doesn't want to deal with it.
Oh, wow.
So there's an opportunity to make some money back. And there are companies that you can hire, auction companies that you can hire to do this without it really being a big pain to the owner of the building.
Is there a business attached or just the equipment?
It's primarily the equipment.
Gotcha.
He's been wrapping down his business, and there could be a couple of accounts to talk about, but primarily it's the equipment itself.
Cool.
And there's a good market for used equipment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And there's some interesting machines in there.
That stuff isn't cheap. So when there's an opportunity, that's great.
And if you buy it well, then it'll last you a long time.
Absolutely.
Too. Yes.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited to see the potential for that building. And as we see more and more buildings, and we'll talk about some of those later in the podcast, some more and more of the old factory buildings being renovated.
Love it.
People are just loving those apartments.
Love it.
Yes. Thank you.
What? Speaking of apartment, we got some more apartments down in Ithaca.
Yes, in the town of Lansing, Ithaca mailing address, but the town of Lansing, so it's just north of the city. Which, to be honest, the town of Lansing is a little more landlord friendly than the city of Ithaca is.
Right.
So that makes it for a better investment, in my opinion.
Sure.
We have 2 bedroom and 1 bedroom apartments. One of the buildings was built last decade. The others were built in 1980. Almost 100% occupancy year round.
Wow.
No student housing. It's primarily professionals, a few grad students, but it's primarily professionals. And on many of them who have lived there a very long time.
Oh, wow.
So it's a nice, quiet place to live. Adjacent to the apartments is also 95 acres of land that could be developed. And it's an interesting area because you have the apartments, you have someone else's apartments that are there also. Then you have a big industrial and office park. And then you have a lot of single family houses.
Oh, wow.
You have a solar farm. There's kind of just about everything that you could possibly want in real estate around it, which I think gives those 95 acres a lot of potential for being multi-tenanted, and it's probably too big, just build apartments.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The little stream that runs through it, which breaks up the property a little bit, but at the same time provides some nice ambience for the property too. So it's certainly something to take a look at. And there is a street that it crosses, and And so again, across the street would probably be a better place for having single family houses.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. So the same owners also have 25 acres in the city of Syracuse, which would be terrific for single family houses or maybe townhouses. They're amongst some beautiful homes, and they already have about 6 curb cuts, which is really nice because sometimes those are hard to get from the municipalities. So I was really happy to see that.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And then out near the casino, I see that you've got some stuff going on.
Yes, on Willow Street. So Willow Street is directly across from the casino. If you're on the main road off of the Thruway, and it's it's the same road as the Dunkin' Donuts. So behind that is Willow Street, and there are 2 hotels there already. What I like about this property, and it's 7.71 acres, is it's adjacent to the Thruway, and you can see the casino from there. But the property can be seen from the Thruway also. So if you have a business where signage is really important to you, like a hotel, like a truck stop, I think it'd be a fabulous truck stop.
Sure.
There's no diesel within a couple of miles of the property. Yes, I was surprised about that. There's gas stations, but no diesel.
Yeah.
So I think there's potential for not a mega truck stop because there's not enough room, but there would be room for a medium-sized truck stop.
Wow.
And again, the visibility from the Thruway, and you take advantage of the Turningsdown Casino and Resort, who's just finishing a huge expansion. Yeah. And they're just continuing to bring people into that area.
Yeah. It's going to be a convention center unlike any we've had anywhere else.
And it's very exciting. And it's kind of in the middle of what we would consider nowhere,
right?
And it's risen like a phoenix, as they say. It can be seen. It's the towers are the tallest building between Albany and Buffalo.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is just amazing to think about as to where it is, but they've done a fabulous job on that property.
Yeah.
And they're very good for the marketplace, and they've bought most of the properties right around that property too.
Yeah. That's great. I've stayed at one of those hotels that you mentioned that's just off the way, and it's so convenient, and it's great. What a fantastic opportunity for room for another.
I think it is too, and it definitely would be a great place for a hotel, and anybody who needs that kind of visibility. Yeah. And the town is willing to talk about extending the road when you get off the Thruway. There's a light there, and there's no road across the way, but they would extend a road, and which would give access to your property too.
That would be huge.
So that would be huge, and I think that would really help with the visibility and also access. Right now, you have to turn left off the Thruway, go up to where Recovery was. There's a restaurant there just past the Dunkin' Donuts, and then turn right and go down the street. So it's a little awkward. It's doable, but it's a little awkward. Where if you had signage and you could just cross the street, it would be much better.
Great.
Definitely.
Wow.
Yes. So I think that as the casino and resort continues to expand, I think that people will be looking for other opportunities along there.
Very much so. Good for them. It looks like you had a great lunch recently, right?
I did actually just yesterday. And the woman who spoke, America, is the executive director of the downtown committee. And she talked all about what's going on downtown. She's going to be a guest on our podcast in a few weeks. One of the things I really took away from it that I did not know is that a local buyer has bought the garage that's across from the Hotel Syracuse that has been down for quite a long time.
Oh, really?
And is renovating it, and there'll be 500 more parking spots available.
Oh, wow.
That'll be huge.
Yeah.
And we will talk about, and we have talked about some of the things going on that end of downtown. And I think that's going to make a big difference to parking there.
Absolutely.
I always used to park in the Hotel Syracuse, what we called the Hotel Syracuse garage, and then just walk over.
Yeah.
And there'll be another opportunity to do that.
Yeah, that in recent years, that garage has become quite sketchy. So I'm glad to see somebody taking good care of it. And because like you said, we need that space very much.
We do. And parking garages are tough with our weather.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't last the way they do in some other marketplaces. So for a local company who's looking to invest in downtown Syracuse to do this, I think is very valuable.
That's wonderful.
Yes. So America's going to come and talk to us about all the things that are going on downtown. It's very exciting, and we're pushing that 500 people living in downtown Syracuse that would allow for a small grocery store or a drugstore, which are the 1 and 2 things that are requested in the marketplace.
I believe it. The one thing it lacks is to go grocery shopping for anybody down there, they got to travel just a little bit.
They do. And it's not particularly convenient. And there used to be a drugstore when there were fewer people living downtown, but now, or maybe we'll get a grocery store like a Wegmans, or maybe not Wegmans, but another grocery store that has a pharmacy right in it too.
Sure.
Which would solve both of those problems.
Yeah. That's great.
Yes. So I'm really excited. I think that downtowns are, the center of our area. And, when people come to visit, it's what they see.
Absolutely.
So the more vibrant and the more people on the streets, the better it looks and the safer it is.
Completely agree. It's great. Christine, aside from downtown, there is a whole list of crazy things going on. Why don't you tell us about some of these cool projects?
I keep learning about these. I keep clipping them, and I keep getting more and more excited every day about what's going on in the marketplace, because it will bring people, and it will bring people who want to live in cool and different places too. So there still continues to be a lot of growth around the university area, Syracuse University, not necessarily for undergraduates, because there's been a lot of growth there in the past, and undergraduate enrollment has slowed down a little bit. So I don't think we're going to see a huge push in new housing there. But we do there's new housing being designed for grad students right now on University Avenue, which is the main road that takes you up to Syracuse University, for those who aren't familiar. The tax breaks have been approved, and they are designing it for, like I said, for graduate students with commercial space on the first floor. This is very close to the East Genesee Street corridor, which is a main commuting corridor. There's hotels and restaurants and a lot of different services along there. And it will take you downtown in minutes and take you to the eastern suburbs in minutes too.
Christine, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you say it's kind of designed for grad students versus undergrad, am I correct in thinking like a grad student is really just more of a traditional apartment versus your undergrad is maybe more of like your dorm, like we might remember, or is it a little different?
Well, this one is going to be, I believe, a little different in that there'll be smaller apartments.
Gotcha.
But it won't be like a dorm, but it'll be mostly studios and one-bedroom apartments.
Gotcha.
Right.
So your own space.
Your own space, but not
your first
a giant
real apartment, sort of.
Yes, where you live independently.
That's great.
Yeah. So that's exciting to see. And grad students bring a lot of energy. They bring money to town.
Sure.
They're usually older. They're a little more established. And
they're
maybe
serious.
They're going to law school. They're serious. Yeah. They're making a big investment in their future. Yeah. Right. So yes, they're definitely serious.
That's great.
There's it's only a few blocks to the university. And even closer for some of the classes.
I'm guessing maybe, would it be fair to say that a lot of these grad students might be a little less seasonal than some of the undergrads? Are these folks maybe sticking around town in the summers and things like that?
Well, I think that's a good point. And I think some of them could have, practically full-time jobs too.
Yeah.
Because grad school you can go to on a part-time basis. And it's almost designed that way, some of the courses. So yes. And they'll be more entrenched in the community. Mm-hmm. We have very good friends that are not from here, but they came here and went to law school and stayed.
Yeah.
So that makes me happy.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes. So I'm sure that's continuing to happen.
What else we got going on?
Well, here's a building that I think is very interesting, the Monroe Building in downtown Syracuse. This is a very differently sized building. It currently has office condominiums in it. It's the building in downtown near the courthouse that has the big mural on the side with all the sports figures on it.
Okay.
And the people who have bought this building in the last few years bought the Harrison Building over on Harrison Street. And it was an office building that they converted into apartments. Well, they're almost fully leased now.
Wow.
And they're not from here. They came into town. They're from Maine, actually. And they were so happy with the Harrison project that they started looking for other projects and recently bought this property.
Wow.
So they'll be putting, because of how the building is designed, the plan is to put a number of studio apartments in there.
Gotcha.
And then some one bedrooms also, because it has some center courts that are a little bit funky.
And you said, is it exclusively commercial currently?
It's exclusively all offices right now.
Gotcha.
Yes. So, and now those the people who have offices there are now looking to fill other office space, which is good. I know someone who's out looking today, actually. And I think it's really encouraging that they were so happy with their first project here that they're immediately jumping into their second project.
Yeah.
And obviously we want to encourage that. And they stay downtown. They like downtown. Great. And they're from Maine, and I don't remember any other developers from Maine coming to Syracuse to do this kind of work. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
So I think we'll see that opening as apartments by the end of next year.
Cool.
Yes. And they've got some pretty good parking right around there too, which is helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And steps to the courthouse. So if you're an attorney and you're looking for an apartment, and you work downtown, this is another great place.
Yeah. Cool.
On the flip side, we're looking at some senior housing in Marcellus, and Marcellus is just west of Syracuse. It's a suburb that has a waiting list for its senior apartments now. So the company that is doing this is very experienced with management of senior housing. They've been doing it for decades. And they want to not only build 20 new affordable senior housing, but they also want to renovate the 2 buildings that they have there now.
Wow.
So I think that's exciting, and that will help that wait list. And the local people are really encouraging them to move forward with this.
Marcellus is such a cute little town. What a great place to retire.
It's beautiful. It's very close to where I live, and it's peaceful. It's not that far from getting into the city if you want to.
Yep.
You're minutes to Skaneateles, which is just a beautiful place to be on the lake. You have hiking, you have restaurants. There's more restaurants now in the southeast part of our area than there has been ever.
That's great.
We've lived in Lafayette, which is the town just before Marcellus. And when we first moved in 30 years ago, there weren't a lot of restaurants out there, but it's really nice to see restaurants and other things to do in the marketplace too.
That's great.
Yes. So this sort of really shows diversity too. I mean, the first one was grad students. The second one's going to be downtown, professionals and business people. The third one's senior housing. And that's what you need for a diverse housing base.
We got homes for everybody.
We have homes for everybody.
Come on down.
That's right. Come on down. And we're still an affordable housing area.
Yeah.
And that's important because not every place is.
That's great.
Yeah. So moving west a little, Liverpool, which is a western suburb, we've talked about it a little bit on previous podcasts. Liverpool is a cool area. Again, we're kind of a 15, 20-minute city. Yeah. And so Liverpool definitely fits that category. There is a group that wants to build 300 apartments, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. And you don't see a lot of 3 bedroom apartments, but there's a need. People have kids. People need that 3rd bedroom to work from home, to set up an office. And I think if you're moving from your, house in the country and you're downsizing because maybe you want the comfort of an apartment, you want a little space too. Mm-hmm. You don't want to move from 4,000 square feet to 800 square feet. So I think there's definitely a marketplace for it. It's a site where a miniature golf course used to be, and they are going to have diverse businesses right around them. They're putting a new fast food, a gas station, and they haven't named the quick service restaurant, but one is being planned for there too.
Oh, wow.
So that, again, walking community, 2 things. And I don't know, sometimes you get home at night and you don't want to cook, but you really don't want to go very far either.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be popular.
Absolutely.
Yep. Back to Syracuse, back right around the corner from where we are right now in Franklin Square, is the Icon. What will be the Icon Lofts. These will be 75 apartments built into, again, an older factory building, and they're a very experienced developer. He's developed a number of properties from Cazenovia to the city, both commercial as well as apartments. So it's nice to see him making additional investments in the marketplace, and he's local. 8 of the apartments will be set up for people who make 80% or less of the median city income, and he'll have studio and 1-bedroom apartments in there.
Is that a remodel building or is that a new construction?
It's a remodeled factory building.
Gotcha.
Yes, and it overlooks 81.
Okay.
Yes. So it's if you come out of here, you're gonna turn onto Gannett, and then there's the first I think it's called Franklin Lofts.
Okay.
Right.
I know
and then it'll be
about.
the building next to that.
Cool.
Yes. So that, again, expanding this area, Franklin Square is very popular. Yeah. And you can walk downtown. You've got the trails. You can walk to the lake. And you're right you have all of the amenities that are here. The aquarium's going to open up the fall, right? Yeah. That's so exciting. Yep. And so you can walk to the aquarium, and you can walk to restaurants and to other things to do in the area.
I love it.
Yes. So heading a little further north to Cicero, and Cicero is the general market where Micron's being built, to Cicero Clay. They're going through a site review right now to put in additional apartments at Meltzer Court, which is on Route 11. And it's a 7-acre parcel. They're currently having their site plan reviewed. And in some of the cases of the properties that we're talking about, they haven't got through all of their approvals yet. Sure. But as we've talked about, there's a real encouragement for housing in the marketplace. So I really feel the majority of these will happen. Yeah. So that will be nice. And they're also going to have 3-bedroom apartments. So
That's great.
it'll be interesting to see how the 3-bedroom apartments go, because finding that sweet spot mix of the number of bedrooms within your community is important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some people get it right. Some people don't, and they struggle with it.
I'm the type of person that likes more space. So, at any time in my past when I was in the market for that, if I could afford the bigger place, even though I didn't necessarily need it, I was down for it. So it's great to see that there's some options for folks that are as wasteful as I am.
Well, it's what you're comfortable with.
Right.
I think that's important. I mean, one of the things we have with housing in this area is that a lot of people are staying in their homes longer than you would expect them to.
Yeah.
So there's not the homes for younger people to buy, but I think there also haven't been the options for apartments that they really want to move into for older people. And I won't say seniors, but for older people who want to move out of their houses and have a little bit of an easier lifestyle.
Yep.
It's very hard to go from that bigger house to a 2-bedroom apartment, let's say. And what do you do with everything?
Right.
So hopefully with the diversity of housing that's being built, that will encourage more people to move into apartments. Well, then we'll open up houses for first and second time home buyers, which will help it will help the crisis there too.
Sure.
Yeah. And there's definitely is a crisis of inventory out there.
Absolutely.
Of single family houses.
Well, we're attacking it out in Jordan. There's some apartments, apparently.
Going west again, 65 units. I love the property management company that's building this. They've been around, they're a second or third generation company. Wow. They've been around a long time, and they build a really nice housing. They take really good care of it. They care about they don't build a ton of things at any one time. But they take really good care of their tenants, and that's nice to see.
That's great.
So Jordan is a western suburb of Syracuse, between Auburn, in the Auburn, Syracuse area. They're going to set aside, this is kind of interesting, they're going to set aside 30 apartments for homeless veterans and individuals with major mental health issues. Wow. Which we have a problem, like all communities, we have a problem with that. So that's, again, more diversity of housing. They're going to make a $32 million investment. And I'm sure they'll bring in the services that both the veterans and the people with mental issues will need. That's important because you can't just dump, quote unquote, dump people someplace and then expect everyone to get along. The services that are provided by the agencies are really important. And I really like the idea that they're doing something different. Yeah. And we do have a crisis in our rural areas, and this is a bit of a rural area, of diversity in housing and services for people. So hopefully this will take care of that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Good news for Jordan.
Good news for Jordan. Good news, and good news for veterans and people that have some mental difficulties too.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, Christine, it's just like a never-ending list of progress in Central New York.
It's wonderful. It's fabulous. It makes me so happy, and and I believe that these are very viable projects, and that we will see the majority of them. Yeah, we won't be saying 3 years ago, oh, I wish they had happened, or 3 years from now that I wish they would happen. Yes,
that's wonderful. So, Christine, I think we're just about out of time for today, but tell us what folks can expect in future episodes of The Details in the Deal.
Well, yesterday when I was at the downtown committee meeting, I met Mary Kay, who I had met before, and she's a lovely person. And I said, would you like to come on my podcast? And she said, absolutely. So she's going to be on a future podcast, probably in a month or so. And she'll talk about things that are happening downtown, how the different areas are working together, and really how the services are combined to make the best use of the services between the city and the downtown committee and the Center State CEO and our different organizations, so that we're not overlapping, but at the same time, we're providing all the services that we need.
Wow. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to hearing what she has to share.
So many great episodes, so many good tips and leads, honestly, for a lot of folks. If they're so inclined, they should really be paying attention, because what you're giving away is gold here, Christine, and I love it.
Well, thank you. And I'm very happy to talk to anybody who's interested in making an investment in the marketplace, even if they just are curious and have questions.
Sure. That's great. That's Christine. I'm Matt. This is The Details in the Deal. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.